Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, See Through the Script here. Today is December 25th, 2021. It's officially Christmas Day, and you know your boy had to pop out and decode the big holiday. I got a lot of positive feedback from my Halloween by the numbers video, so I had to come and do it again. I appreciate y'all. But anyways, for many around the world, they're spending time with their families, sharing gifts, dining, eating candy canes, and whatever other generic Christmas festivities you could think of. However, this time, this video isn't going to be your traditional Christmas special, rather an extensive look at the numerical coding behind the holiday that is Christmas. For those new here, I'll be using the practice of Gematria, which derives from Jewish mysticism. In these videos, we're using English Gematria, where we attach a numeric value to each of the 26 letters in the alphabet. There are 4 base ciphers. Then we tie the Gematria values to the numerical patterns within the date numerology. With all that being said, let's begin the video. Okay, so you know it wouldn't be right if I didn't start the video with a little introduction about what this holiday is and what it derives from. So let's get into it. Christmas is celebrated on December 25th and is both a sacred religious holiday and a worldwide cultural and commercial phenomenon. For 2 millennia, people around the world have been observing it with traditions and practices that are both religious and secular in nature. Christians celebrate Christmas Day as the anniversary of the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, a spiritual leader whose teachings form the basis of their religion. Popular customs, including exchanging gifts, decorating Christmas trees, attending church, sharing meals with family and friends, and of course, waiting for Santa Claus to arrive. December 25th, Christmas Day, has been a federal holiday in the United States since 1870. Alright, so you know you can't talk about Christmas Day without talking about Saturnalia, right? And for those who are not familiar with Saturnalia, the most popular holiday on the ancient Roman calendar derived from the older farming-related rituals of midwinter and the winter solstice, especially the practice of offering gifts or sacrifices to the gods during the winter sowing season. Instead of working, Romans spent Saturnalia gambling, singing, playing music, feasting, socializing, and giving each other gifts. Wax taper candles called cerae were common gifts during Saturnalia to signify light returning after the solstice. Pope Julius I chose December 25th. It is commonly believed that the church chose this date in effort to adopt and absorb the traditions of the pagan Saturnalia festival, first called the Feast of Nativity. The custom spread to Egypt by 432 and to England by the end of the 6th century, according to history.com. Saturnalia, to further go in depth, in Rome, where winters were not as harsh as those in the far north, Saturnalia, a holiday in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture, was celebrated. Beginning in the week leading up to the winter solstice and continuing for a full month, Saturnalia was a hedonist time when food and drink were plentiful, and the normal Roman social order was turned upside down. For a month, enslaved people were given temporary freedom and treated as equals. Business and schools were closed so that everyone could participate in the holiday's festivities. Notice in Gematria, in the most pure cipher being full reduction, Saturnalia, Catholic, and paganism all equal 35. Now, notice in Gematria, in the same cipher we were just using before, full reduction, the word Christmas equals 38. Christmas is a holiday. Holiday equals 38. And what we're using to decipher this is the practice of Gematria. Gematria equals 38. Now, remember what we said earlier, and I'm sure most of you know, again, Christmas is all about the birth of Christ. Notice birth of Christ equals 74 in that same blue cipher, full reduction, alongside holiday in the most basic cipher, English ordinal, equals 74, and Jesus Christ, the full name, equals 74 in reverse, full reduction. Now, it wouldn't be a Christmas decode without bringing up one of the most important figures in the holiday that is Christmas, and that is Santa Claus. Now, this cipher is simply taking the alphabetical order and multiplying it by 6. So essentially, A has the value of 6, B has the value of 12, C has the value of 18, going up and up in increments of 6. With that being said, notice how Santa Claus has the numerical value of 666. This matches with the word illusion, which equals 666. Parents often tell their children when young that a mystical character by the name of Santa Claus sneaks into their home to deliver gifts, the ultimate illusion for the youth while growing up, specifically youth of Christian Catholic faith. So I must add that Santa Claus does have a backstory, which revolves around a man named Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas was a bishop that was known to travel far and wide, helping the poor and sick. His name and image was later morphed into the character that is essentially the mascot of Christmas, being Santa Claus. However, let's get back into the Gematria. So, as you can see, Saint Nicholas of Myra died December 6, 343 AD. Notice that December 6th, when written out in words, equals 216, and what's interesting about the number 216 is that if you multiply 6 times 6 times 6, it gives you that value of 216. And the number 666 is in direct connection to the name Santa Claus in the English Sumerian cipher. Now, Santa Claus is, again, in reference to Saint Nicholas, who died on the 6th of December, and Santa Claus equals 21 in the most pure cipher, being full reduction. 21 is the 6th triangular number, meaning if you add 1 through 6, it equals 21. Now, moving on from the topic of Santa Claus or Saint Nicholas, we're going to discuss something that's very interesting about Christmas Day, as many do debate that December 25th isn't actually Jesus's birthday. And I'm not necessarily here to pick sides. I am literally just here to show the numerical coding behind all these interesting tidbits that they throw at us in this world. And as you could see, if it were the case that Jesus was born on September 11th, you could see in Gematria, Christ and September 11th, when written out in words, in the 4 base ciphers have a 2-for-2 match, being 77 and 85. Alright, so if you guys remember earlier that I stated Christmas became a holiday in the United States, a federal holiday beginning in the year 1870, that was definitely for a reason. Because again, we're out here to decode the numerical rituals that they do right in front of our face, literally in plain sight. And notice that 1870 is a lot like 187, as zeros in numerology are null, and Holy Roman Empire equals 187 alongside Society of Jesus, which serves the Roman Catholic Church, which is the Holy Roman Empire. Alright, so now for this portion of the video, I'm just going to dive in a bit more with the Saturn connection in regards to Christmas, and think about how we give each other gifts in a cube or a box, right? And we're talking about a holiday that's celebrated during Saturnalia. Saturnalia is in representation of the planet Saturn, or the Roman god Saturn, right? And during Saturnalia, they would give each other gifts. Now, when it comes to the cube and the hexagon relationship with Saturn, let's look at this. A hexagon has 6 sides, all the same. So a cube would be a 3D hexagon. If you use that definition with squares corresponding to the sides of a hexagon. Think about how people are handing each other cubes that are meant to be surprises, referred to as a gift. Now look at the Gematria connection between the words Saturn, pagan, gift, and Rome. Now, according to the priestly history of the 5th or 6th century BCE, Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, God on the 6th day of creation created all the living creatures, and in his own image, a man both male and female. God then blessed the couple, told them to be fruitful and multiply, and gave them dominion over all other living things. Now keep in mind, Christmas leaves 6 days in the year according to the Roman calendar. Saturn in Gematria, in the most pure cipher, equals 21. 21 is the 6th triangular number. Saturn is the 6th planet. Saturn is also the 6th day of the week. and again, it is named after Saturn. Christmas is celebrated during Saturnalia. Now, another example of how they hide and encode this worship of Saturn during Saturnalia in line with the birth of Christ, you can see how Christ and cube have very similar gematria in the 2 out of the 4 base ciphers. So think about it. Christians and Catholics alike across the world are handing each other cubes filled with gifts on the supposed birthday of Christ according to the Romans during the time of Saturnalia. Now, if that isn't Saturn worship, I don't know what is. All right, now to just further double down on the Saturn hexagon / cube symbolism. Again, take note, a cube has 6 faces and a hexagon has 6 edges. Notice in gematria, Saturn and cube both have 21 connections. Cube equals 210 in the Jewish cipher, and with the rules of numerology, zeros are null, leaving us with 21. Saturnalia, held in mid-December, is an ancient Roman pagan festival honoring the agricultural god of Saturn. Saturnalia celebrations are the source of many of the traditions we now associate with Christmas. Now, according to NASA, there is a discovery on Saturn known as Saturn's hexagon. And in 1981, a turbulent hexagon-shaped storm has been raging near Saturn's North Pole for at least 4 decades. We first discovered it in 1981 during the Voyager mission, even with the front row view from the Cassini probe. However, details on Saturn's hexagon have been scant. Notice that ritual in gematria equals 81 in both ordinal ciphers. So on this slide, I titled it Saturn equals Satan, which equals Santa in this case. Now, first I want to point out the Jesuit order equals 201, Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuit order, equals 201, and Saturn worship equals 201. The Jesuits serve the Roman Catholic Church. The Romans believe in the god of Saturn, which is the god of time and chaos. Now, according to Hellenistic astrology, the Romans actually named each day of our weeks after a planet, and we're discussing Saturnalia, so that would only make sense that we're going to be discussing Saturn, the 6th planet. This is in line with Saturday, the 6th day out of our 7-day calendar. The reason all this Saturday Saturn talk is interesting is because this year, 2021, Christmas Day falls on a Saturday. From what some believe is to be Jesus's real birthday to what the Romans consider to be the birthday of Christ is a span of 105 days, or a span of exactly 15 weeks apart. So here's the 2 respective time durations. And the date numerology of Christmas 2021 has date numerology of 15. And remember, anytime in numerology there's a 0 and a number, it's null, leaving us with the value, in this case, of 15, right? Saturn worship equals 150, and look at all those 15 connections here. It just further goes to show how well planned out this was to be nothing more than mass Saturn worship. Now, moving on from the Saturn worship in connection to Christmas, we're going to go back to the St. Nicholas and Santa Claus connections. And St. Nicholas, that image you see to the left, notice the date numerology of his birthday had lesser numerology of 18, that's March 15th, and the day that he died had lesser numerology of 18 as well, 12 plus 6, December 6th. And notice that 18 is a reflection of 81, and St. Nicholas equals 81 in reverse full reduction. According to the modern day history, St. Nicholas was born on the 74th day of the year, that is March 15th. And birth of Christ, as we discussed earlier, equals 74, holiday equals 74, and Jesus Christ equals 74. So very interesting. Now, something else that's also interesting about St. Nicholas is that from his birthday to his death was a span of 266 days, and that is in line with Jesus Hominum Salvator, which is the Jesuits' logo, IHS, which equals 266. And you have to remember that the Jesuits obviously weren't around during the time of St. Nicholas. However, the history that's provided to us has been revised and edited by modern-day Jesuits carrying on St. Ignatius of Loyola's ideals and ideologies. And you know I couldn't near the end of the video without talking about another huge aspect of the Christmas holiday, which is the Christmas tree, where everybody leaves their Saturn cubes under for their gifts that they give during the time of Saturnalia, like they used to do back in the ancient Roman times. And here are some key words that all have a very interesting numerical match in the reduction ciphers in line with the holiday: tree, gift, Rome, Saturn, Santa Claus, and evil. And the reason why evil's there, because some people might question, like, why is giving gifts evil? Well, remember, this is all in line with the pagan Saturn worship. Now, let's look at this excerpt from Jane Sacchetti in 2003 from her book Dream Symbols and Homeopathy. She goes on to state, "These ancient chemists knew the poisonous nature of lead, and it is not unreasonable to imagine that more than one alchemist was poisoned while attempting an alchemical experiment on this substance. Because of its poisonous qualities, the alchemists associated lead with Saturn, the god of limitation and death. Lead, as Saturn was portrayed as the Grim Reaper, a skeleton sharpening his scythe, and was thought to be responsible for moving individuals through the trials and necessary separations that mark out every life cycle." Alright, so believe it or not, you guys have made it to the end of the video, and I really appreciate the ones that stuck around and watched the whole thing. That wraps up, and no pun intended, wraps up this Christmas special video going through the numerology and the esoteric symbolism behind the Saturn worship throughout this holiday. And like I said, if you do like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All my important links will be linked in the description below, and make sure to follow me on Instagram at See Through the Script. But other than that, it's your boy Script, and I'm out of here. Peace.